Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, General Hospitals at Crimson. Maxie vents to Nina about all of Natalia's demands regarding Blaze's ad campaign, and she wants to deal with this quickly to get home to her kids. She sees Nina is clearly distracted, and Nina gushes that she had the best afternoon. She tells her about her day with Willow and Wiley, and that Drew was actually tolerable, even though he's a horribly selfish person. However, this is the most contact she's had with Willow in a long time, so if this is the price of dancing with the devil, then so be it. Maxie tries her best to get Nina's focus back on work so she can go home. Nina also admits while Drew is wildly handsome, seeing him with Wiley was like seeing a different side of him. She also brings up his six-pack, but Maxie corrects her and says it's a 12-pack. She also asks Nina why she's talking about Drew's abs when she said she wasn't going to sleep with him again. Dex arrives at the pool and offers to help Joss clean up. He inquires about her first day on the job. She says not only was it her great first day, but she had a special visitor. She thinks if all the future pool days are like this one, it will be a good summer. He asks if she's ready for dinner. She says she'll shower and then she's all his. In Drew's office, Drew reveals to Curtis there is something that has come up that may cause issues with the launch of the new wellness venture, and that is that he may be running for Congress. He says Larry McConkey is retiring, and after pitching an urban renewal project to him, he offered his endorsement if he ran for his seat. He hasn't accepted yet, but he has been asking for people's opinions, and he wants to know his. Drew explains that Michael will step up on the financial end of things here, and he'll pitch in when he can, but he'll need Curtis to take charge of the wellness division. Curtis says he's up for it, and tells Drew as his friend that he should run. Curtis says he has integrity, he's a realist, and he knows when something is and isn't worth fighting for. He believes there needs to be more people like him in government. Curtis asks when he'll announce this, and Drew says it will be soon. Curtis says he'll get the ball rolling with the team he has in place. Back at Crimson, Nina insists to Maxie that she isn't going to sleep with Drew Kane again, and she had a good afternoon because of Willow and Wiley. She says she knows Drew is a snake. Suddenly Drew arrives and asks Nina what in the hell is her problem. Maxie moans she was so close to getting back to her family. Maxie decides she doesn't want to be here for whatever this is, and Nina tells her she'll deal with Natalia's requests. Alone, Nina accuses Drew of trying to use Crimson to benefit his other companies. He reminds her he owns Crimson, and because of him she's close to Willow again, so what is he getting out of this? She reminds him she got him his little project with the congressman. They continue to argue, and he asks what she wants. She shuts the doors and says she wants to make it clear she can't stand him. He says the feeling is mutual. She asks, then why do I want to do this? They kiss, and the clothes come off as they hit the floor. Willow and Michael go on a date to the new hip restaurant in town, and Willow fills him in on the great day she, Drew, and Wiley had at the Metro Court pool. However, she also tells him full disclosure that they ran into Nina. She tells him about how things went, and that the last few times she's run into Nina, their interactions have been pleasant. While Michael doesn't trust Nina, he'll support whatever contact she wants to have with her. Willow thanks him. Michael asks what has changed, what has caused this shift in her about Nina. Willow says it's not just one thing, and Nina has been respecting her boundaries, and she's not pushing for more and more time with her. She admits Nina's changed, and it's because of Drew. Dex and Joss show up together and say hello to Willow and Michael. They head to their table, and Willow is glad they are getting back together. Michael explains they are taking it slow. Joss tells Dex that Trina's Aunt Stella brought them here for the first time. He is always up for trying something new, and Joss adds, and to making new memories. Dex hopes there is another date in their future. Joss teases there could be if he plays his cards right. Joss admits this is nice and familiar, but different at the same time. She says she is sorry and knows she was really hard on him when they broke up. He says she had every right to be, and he got his head on straight thanks to losing her. He also says he was able to ask her out today, as he finally feels good about himself again, and that's because of her. She tells him that he's welcome for dumping him then. Joss says she's happy for Dex, and it's a rare gift to know what you want out of life. Dex asks how her school is going. She says she's changed her major to environmental science, and maybe she could save the world someday. She also admits she could see herself dating a cop. Back at their table, Michael asks how Drew has changed Nina. Willow says he's put his anger for her aside to work with her and start fresh. So why can't she do the same? Willow sees he's shocked. He's trying to absorb this and asks if she's forgiven Nina. Willow says she's ready to move on. She says Drew is choosing to let what happened and move into the future, which is what they all should be doing. Michael says it's nice in theory, and he can see she is happy. Willow says she is happy, and it feels good to have everything out in the open with Nina, and that there are no more secrets. He asks if it feels better than his, and they kiss. She says nothing feels better than that. Brooke, Lynn, and Chase drop by the Quartermain estate and talk with Tracy. Chase explains Finn needs her help. They fill her in that Finn drank after his dad's death, and then he drank at the memorial and tried to hide it with breath spray. Chase says Finn is drinking on purpose and doesn't want them to know. Chase goes off that Finn has made it clear he was addicted to a drug, not alcohol, but he keeps making grand statements that he's not drinking again when he is. They admit they are worried about Violet, who is staying at Maxie's tonight. Tracy says Finn lives for that little girl, and he won't respond well to them trying to take her from him. Brooke Lynn says that's where she comes in. Brooke Lynn tells her their plan is to have Violet come stay here for a week so that they can get Finn into rehab. Tracy says they may need to be prepared for Finn to disappoint them. She says that Finn is in the throes of addiction. He won't listen to anyone but himself, even no matter how destructive that voice in his head is. However, she tells them that they have her full support in this. Chase thanks her, and they decide to tell Finn tomorrow. Tracy says they just have to hope Finn can hear them. At Finn's, Liz stares at Finn and his lady friend. Finn asks Liz what she's doing here. The blonde says, "Oh God, you're not the wife, are you?" Liz answers, "No, just the ex-girlfriend." Liz suggests they call it a night. The blonde won't be ordered around and says her man has moved on. Liz asks her name, and she says it's Barb. Liz tells Barb to go home and sleep it off. She says, "Fine," and tells Liz she has some nerve. After Barb leaves, Finn tells Liz that she doesn't live her, and she doesn't get to judge him. Liz says he's drunk and making out with a stranger, so she gets to judge him. Finn asks where she's been, and accuses her of leaving him because he's not perfect, and she can't stand to be around him when he's grieving. She tells him that's not true, but he says it is, so he found someone who could be around him. Liz says she hasn't left him, and if he wasn't drunk, he'd know that what he's saying is BS. He admits she's right, and she begs him to tell her that Violet isn't here. He says he'd never do anything with her here, but Liz says she can't be so sure of that these days. Finn sobs he's sorry, he hates himself and what he said to her, and he needs to explain. She says she wants him to get help, but they are done. She can't do this to her kids or herself. She turns to leave, and he grabs her hand and says he just wants to talk to her. Suddenly Jason enters and orders Finn to let Liz go. Finn asks if he called this guy, and does she really think he'd hurt her? Jason asks her what she wants to do. Liz says she wants to go, and tells Finn that they'll talk when he's sober. Finn lashes out at her, saying he stood by her when she was tearing up canvases and wedding dresses, and now she wants to walk out on him. He tells her to leave her keys and go. She drops her keys in his glass, and Jason warns Finn, "Don't go near her." Jason takes Liz to the Metro Court pool, which is closed. She admits she wasn't ready to go home and answer questions from her kids. Jason says she deserves better, and Liz feels so do her kids. They dip their feet in the pool, and she jokes she can't believe she got Jason Morgan to take off his shoes. He asks her not to tell anyone. Liz can't believe this is happening, and right after Gregory died. She wants to support Finn, but Jason says it's Finn pushing her away. Liz wonders if she should let him. Liz quickly realizes she can't do that, to herself or to her kids. Lately talking to Finn is like speaking another language, and she can't believe the way he acted. Jason doubts Finn would have hurt her, and she agrees. She asks how he knew where she was. He says it was Jake. He was so worried that he reached out to him. She thanks him for being here, and for listening to her and giving her advice. He says he shouldn't be giving advice because he left her and Sam to raise his sons on their own. She asks. Because he wanted to. He says nothing, and she says she thought so. She doesn't know where he's been, but she's pretty sure he wasn't on vacation. Jason says he's here now and will do whatever he can to make things up to Jake. Liz says his showing up to help her will count a lot with Jake, and it counts a lot with her. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, General Hospital Update, and stay with us.